Hello again, my friends. Welcome back. Things are getting chillier and chillier, but that's okay. We are here. We are still accomplishing our goals. So, those of you who are on this page listening to what I say most likely are going through some form of education. Now, education emanates from a Latin word which basically means to bring out, to coax out of oneself. And that's a little different from what people usually think about education. People usually think, the teacher knows the information, you get the information from the outside. But no, that's not entirely what it is. See, here in this beloved United States, the type of education we get is, let's say, not very effective, right? It's not made to create free thinkers. It's not made to really benefit you in any way other than just giving you a ticket to survive, just barely, right? Get you a job, just over broke. It's what job stands for. And you find yourself, if you're in the education system, if you're in high school listening to this, you find yourself looking up going, where is this taking me? This doesn't really feel like it's taken me much of anywhere. And that gut feeling is right. The person, I forget his name, but I think it's one of the Rothschilds, the person who basically founded the education system, or at least wormed his way into that scene, and created the Board of Education, or some sort of weird conglomerate that sounds official but really isn't. He said that we are not looking to create free thinkers. We're looking to create hard workers and people who can just do their job and do it right and nothing more. See, the education system here teaches you about a bunch of just general knowledge and wants you to remember it. Which, by the way, most people forget 90 whatever, maybe 90 to 98% of what they learn in school after 2 weeks of graduating. 2 weeks. Most of what you learned is gone. All those hours spent in that school, gone. See, now, it's not completely useless. Of course, you're training your brain when you do math, when you study. You're training to pay more attention. You're training to, you're training your memory recall, so you can get the right answers on the tests. But it's not really aiming you towards your personal success. It's aiming you to help others succeed. Now, type of person to come to this channel, this is not what you want in your life. This isn't what you want to do. So basically, what we need to understand is that our education continues long after high school, long after college, long after all the official institutions are done with you. Now, if you can't accept this reality, if you think, well, I'm done learning, I got my GED, I'm done, then mediocrity is your future. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's not really bad news. Learning stuff can actually be pretty fun, but if you basically if you decide, okay, I'm going to learn the bare minimum from GED onward just to get my job done, you're headed for mediocrity. You're headed for paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, the deferred 401k type plan, right? That gets most people nowhere. And as the clock's ticking with this country, things are getting much, much worse for the average person, right? The split between rich and poor is getting huge. And I'm here to be a type of support for you. I'm here to help educate you on how to think outside these boxes that you're placed in your whole life. You don't want to be thinking to yourself, okay, how am I supposed to get... You shouldn't be seeking financial security. You should definitely be seeking financial certainty. But security will bring you to a job which will bring you the average, the bare minimum, whatever it takes to survive, whatever you need to make the wifey and kids happy. Now, I'm I'm the fucking man, okay? I'm not sitting here having an average person's life. I'm putting videos out, I'm journaling, I'm meticulously crafting my existence day after day. I'm not going to settle for it, and you shouldn't either. It's very important. It's very important to educate yourself past school. Now, if you were to read about an hour every day, you would eventually get yourself to a point where you would have the exact same amount of knowledge as a specialized course or degree in college. Give it maybe like 1 year, 2 years. If you really push for it and you do 2 hours a day, you could probably get there sooner. But basically, we don't need to get into debt to get the information we need, okay? I was one of those poor saps who decided to go to college because it seemed like the right thing to do and it would make my parents happy and all this, and I still didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So, I tried this thing and then I tried that thing and I didn't like either thing. And I found myself, with a really bad self-image because the classic, college dropout label can be a real painful, sticky one that doesn't seem to shake off. But let me tell you one thing. Thomas Edison, I believe it was Thomas Edison, but yeah, Thomas Edison only really had like a month of formal education, and he still died a millionaire. He still died with plenty of success and prosperity. It's not about the general system getting you to where you need to go. It's you getting you to where you need to go. You really got to look at it that way. And what you need is specialized information, okay? Because the general education system gives you general knowledge. And general knowledge, no matter how many factoids and fun things you can pull out of your brain at any given moment, no matter how many little facts you have, it's not going to get you successful. What gets you rich and successful is learning specialized things and just mastering them. Okay? You don't find yourself on a pile of money just by being a jack of all trades, right? You spread yourself thin by doing that. If you're a good math person, what's really important is math is pretty important, okay? It's one of the languages of the universe. It's very tightly related to money, to do your taxes and to estimate how much you're going to be making in the year and all that. Math is important. Absolutely. Math's important for a lot of things. But everything else, except maybe history, I think everyone should know their history. Everything else is kind of optional. I mean, get a basic understanding of it by all means, absolutely, but you really want to save your mental bandwidth for what you specialize in and defer everything else to this beautiful supercomputer we all seem to have in our pockets, or specialists that you can hire. Now that's a higher level entirely, and I'm not there yet. I'm sure no one on this channel is there yet, but if you are there, my goodness, thank you for coming to the channel. Give me some advice in the comments if you really want to add to the education of this space. So I'm here to remind you that school doesn't really prepare you much for anything besides barely scraping by. And none of us want that. So read every day, educate yourself, learn something new every day, make a habit of it, and give yourself a gold star. You're a student for life. You need your good noodle points, And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.